Hi friends, welcome. For a series of repetitive works for a user, so we create user defined functions. We'll learn how to create that. Moreover, in addition to this, Python also gives us some functions which is available to us always. So based on the common requirement, Python has given us the built-in functions which we have already discussed previously. So these functions are always available and we just use them. So what's the difference between these two? We'll see that part also, and how we'll create these functions, pass on the input and get our desired output. Say for example, let's think of a vending machine where we just give all our input, it processes internally and gives us multiple cups of teas and coffees by using the same process again and again. We'll learn all about this, creating functions, how to use it, how to pass the parameters, all about this. Visit this URL. This is there in the description below. You can visit this, and all sample codes are available here. You can read the blog post, watch the videos available, and different codes what we are now going to discuss are all available here too. You can easily copy and use it in your desktop or in Colab environment. So scroll down, and below that you will get the all details. Along with, here is a link, you can follow this, go to GitHub, download the Jupyter notebook or IPN by file to run it in your platform, or you can go to Colab platform after logging into your Google account and execute the all the sample codes there. Go to Google and use Colab Google. So Colab is the Google Collaboratory. It's a cloud based Python available here. So let's just go there. We'll see. And before that, you should log into your Gmail account, your Google account. I mean that same account. So all your details are stored in your Google Drive. All files are stored here. In your Colab, here is Gemini. So here you can just click this, ask questions. So you can any sort of code assistant, anything, right? Staying in the Colab platform, you can ask it, and what you will do is we'll just connect it. So it will take some time to connect it. Meanwhile, we'll go to the top. Another, this is our all the source code, we will get it here. Now let me just copy this code, this much code. So 3 lines of code, instead of typing I will do this and paste it here. See the first thing. Okay, now meanwhile this is connected. You can see some RAM and disk space is allotted to me. Now I can run this and get the output. Was this first keyword DEF is the keyword, or it is, what is the reserve word or keyword in Python? We have already discussed in one. So there are 45. I think you can list out all the keywords. So this keyword define a function. So a function is defined here, and this is the name of the function. So my fun. You can give your own name, whatever name you want. And what it does, it just print a simple message. It runs. This is a print is, by the way, a built-in function of Python. So it just simple print a welcome. But if a function I have created doesn't mean it will run on its own, I have to call this function. So at the line number 4, I am doing that, just calling this function. Without line number 4, nothing will happen. So I will just call it. Let's just see what the output is. You can see here, it prints welcome here. So this is what I have written. This is a simple use of function. Now let's create one more function. Here we will take a input. Sorry, def define my fun again. Here I am putting n. So n is the input I want to take it. So what I will do, print n plus 10. So it will print the whatever input I give, and this n will hold the input. It is like a box or a variable value. It will store the value whatever I give it as input. So let me just come to next line and print the use the function. So I am saying my function, and I am giving say 20. Now what happens when I am give it 20? This 20 will go to this n. Here let me give a gap so you can easily. Okay, so now n, and it will be added with 10 and it will be printed, because print function I have internally given. Now let us run this and see the output. Output is here, you can see it is 30. Whatever 20 has gone inside the function, it is executed and printed output as 30. Now I have not taken the return value. I will modify this code to take the return value and do my processing. I will print it at my end. How I will modify this? Let's just run this once more. Def my function. I am taking the input n. So again n is there. So now I will say return. I am just returning the value n plus 10. Now what I am doing it here is, now outside this function I am calling this function, saying, now I am saying print my function, my fun, and I am giving the value of 30. Let's, this way what will happen, let's just see this. You see, I am giving a print command and getting the value from the function. So the return returns the value. This line number 2 returns the output to the calling, which is calling it's that function. Let us take one more. Here it is code. I am just pasting it. This is just returns the sum of this. So you can run this and see 27 is the output. Let us use a string. So string addition will do it. See here, it takes the input name from here when I am calling the function. So it prefix or add before the name. So ABC. So it gives me a welcome Alex. This name I can change to anything and get the same welcome message. Say welcome Alex. Now let me just run another. Sorry, it has run again. I will say once more my welcome. Sorry, here the function is welcome. Here I will say John. So what happened now? Let me run this. You can see welcome Alex, welcome John, because based on the input it gives the welcome message. Let us take the list as input, and list is something we'll discuss further. So it's a series of you can say array elements and all. So here is a list. Now just see line number 7. It's a list. We are declared multiple elements are there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 elements are there. What we have created a function is it returns the sum of the inputs. So what it does, when I am calling that line number 8, my sum, my list, because my list here is the input to this function. This function here you can see, this is the function. It takes the list here, my list, as the input to the function. So I am just looping through each elements of it and defining the sum. So sum 1 equal to 0, initiating, because I want to store it at 0 value. For I in my list, sum 1 is equal to sum 1 plus. So 1 by 1 is the for loop. I am looping, and one element, first 1, then 5, then 7, then 12. So 1 by 1 I am adding it. So sum 1 holds the sum. Then I am returning finally here. Let's run this and see. Here it is, the value, sum of all these elements, whatever is there is. We can get a list as a return value also, so we can further process it. Let me just paste a code here. All these codes are sample codes are available in the blog post. You can, that URL is there. So here you see 3 things from a series of marks, say 4, 3, 2, 11. 4 students mark you can take. So we have the total mark. Here it is, the average of the 4. And the how many length of the marks, means how many student marks are there. So these 3 things we are getting, and we are returning them as A. A is, here you see we are defined as list here. So total, average, and length of marks, means how many elements are there. So here in this case example it is 4. So these 3 values will print it. Now for that we are creating here my marks as a list here. Then marks final is equal to my details. Then my marks are passing as a parameter. Here you see my detail function I have created, my marks as a input. So this particular line number 7 what we have created will go as a input. Then I am at the line number 8, 9 printing it in format. Let's just see this and check the output. See, details 20. So first one is the total. So all these marks I am adding up here. Then I am getting 20. Average is 5. What are the total number of marks, means how many students are there, that I am getting it here. So here the key thing is returning a list. So here list is created, and that we are returning to the function which is calling, or the main script. When we say the function has to take a input, we must give it a input. So here in this case, here you can see the list is there. So this list goes as an input. What will happen if you don't give the list? It will generate an error. Say I am removing this here. Now let me just see line number 8. I am calling this function, but I am supposed to give a list or a data to this. I am not passing. In the here it is in a function case, it is called as arguments. So it tells a error is generated missing one requirement, additional argument my marks. So here it is, it expects a marks to be given because I have not given it, so it is generating a error for me. So it's a common error, you will initially will face this. Now let's just code it. I will show you. See this code. Suppose even if I am not given, I set a default value. Here you see my language is Python, is a default value. If the user has given a value, take it. If it has not given, then a default value of Python you take it. Then here the print command, you see it welcomes, it just prints the value. Now let's run this. You see the first line, twice I have called. So first line at line number 4, I have not given any parameter here or argument here. So once I am not given, it taken a Python as the argument. So my language is Python here. Now see that, welcome to Python. Next line, line number 5, it prints because I have given PHP. So welcome to PHP, because it is no longer use the default, it has taken PHP. Let's add one more code block. Sometime we are not sure how many inputs will give. It can be a 1, it can be 5, it can be 10 also. How will handle that situation? Because we have seen now every time we have to define a container or a placeholder or a variable to store it. Now, without that, how I will do? See this code, I am pasting it here. Instead of that, I am writing it star args, means number of I can give it. So here you can see here I am while calling I am giving 3. Next line I am calling it by adding one more. It doesn't know what it is. What it does, whatever is there, it takes it here and adds the one by here. The function is to add all the elements and return the sum. So what happened here, the 3 arguments are passed, here 4 are passed. Next line also I can add 1 also and 1 parameter and send it. Let's just run this. See, it is giving 9 and 11. It's not generating an error that you are supposed to give 3, you are given 4, or you are supposed to give 2, you are given 5, like that. It's not bothered. It just multiple arguments of data. I can pass it to this function and get the output. Practice this basic codes on functions. Next, we will see some recursive functions where that we will understand it, because some applications will build with that, and also what's a doc string and how to pass a key value pair. So we, instead of passing a single value, a key and its value, that also will pass it and see how the output comes. All this complex programming on the functions we will learn in the next part. I hope you will practice this first one. That's all, friends. Hope you have a good learning experience, and if you have any idea, doubt, suggestion, questions, use the comment section below to post it. And my request is, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you'll be notified as and when we add tutorials, and we are frequently adding that also. Please share this with your friends, and thank you for watching.